guys! I'm super excited to be making this video finally. I know I've talked about it for a while, but here it is, here's my new studio video. For anyone who doesn't know, I just moved into my first ever art studio. Woo. I feel like a real artist now. Yeah, it's pretty bare bones right now. I just kind of got everything organized, so I'm just gonna show you around like what I've got right now. Hopefully I'll be able to do, you know, like a part 2 or like a video update sometime in the near future. But for now, this is just kind of where I've been working, and I really want to show everybody what that looks like. And I'm of course open for suggestions. If you have a studio or if you ever had one and you see something that I should do different, please tell me. But yeah, I just kind of stumbled into this place a month or so ago, and I'm just going to show you around real quick. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so I figure I'll just start by opening the door. Pretend you're me and you're walking in. So, ta-da! Yeah, this is my place. It's I feel like a pretty good size for, you know, what I'm paying, which is not much at all. And yeah, plenty of room for storage and whatnot. So I'm just gonna kind of go through like what's in each section and show you a little bit of my supplies, and that's what we're gonna do. So obviously, you know, place to hang stuff. Nice little chair for when I'm doing all my studying and whatnot. So I have like art books and things that I'll look at later to show you guys. Yeah, this is my art shelf full of basically everything. So I guess I'll just work my way down. Start at the top here. So we've got some convention stuff. Most of this is convention stuff actually. Some shipping boxes up there for like sculptures, or when I take sculptures to conventions, it's like what I sell them in. Got my paint mats, my canvases. These are the blank ones, some palette paper. If you've never seen that before, it's really handy to have. Lots of that. Here's some canvases that are just kind of played on, but I haven't really, it was more just like experimentation stuff. I don't know if I really want to show these because they're not great. Oh, this was the one time I tried to do oil painting in a graveyard years ago. By years ago, I mean like 2 years ago. But yeah, these are just like half-started paintings. This is one that I gessoed over. Got some texture in it that I'm gonna hopefully be able to bust something out with. Yeah, so sculpting stuff. I've got my laminator. It's more convention things for like making stickers and whatnot. Yeah, blue sculpting stuff, you know, clay, wire, tools, that kind of thing. Here's my like pastel papers and charcoal paper and just large things that don't fit anywhere else basically. My old prism marker set from high school that I'm slowly trying to use up. More markers. Ooh. I guess I should like pull these out maybe and show you. I don't know if you guys really want to see like all of my supplies. They're just kind of generic, I feel. But you know, got some oops, felt tip markers and whatnot in there for playing with. Pastels and inks. This is kind of like a catch-all really. As you can see, it's labeled with many a thing. Colored pencils and sandpaper and some lino cut tools. I think there's even some crayons in there. My charcoals that I'm so excited to actually like have a studio to play with in because I've tried to use these, you know, like working from home, but everything is carpeted and charcoal is horribly messy, as anybody who's ever used it will tell you. So I am really stoked to have a space to actually use this stuff and experiment. This is really hard to close. I'll close that later. Some fixative, my sculpture oven. Down here we've got my airbrush. Oops, sorry, strap went crazy. My airbrush paints. Just like some mats and gessos and stuff. There's like turpentine and mineral spirits and things in this slightly scary looking bag back here that's always closed. And this is just kind of like more miscellaneous paint oils. There's like linseed oil and stuff. It's mostly like life extenders for acrylics and oils that I haven't really used since college. Again, super excited to be in here to use them. My watercolor set, not very fancy honestly. I'm kind of, a lot of these paints I really want to use up so that I can buy better ones. Most of this stuff has been either given to me, like inherited, or like friends who haven't wanted them anymore, and it's not very good. So I'm not super like, I don't want to show you all my terrible paints because they'll make you sad, I'm sure. Yeah, more paintbrushes, sponges and things in my very fancy shoe boxes. This is just basically full of oil paints. I actually need to go through them and like figure out what still works and what doesn't, because I'm sure some of them are very dried out. We've got my giant, heavy, I'll just do a quick show of this, acrylic paint thing. Yeah, most of it's really like student grade. It's not, I have a few better, even these are probably student grade really. I've had these since college. But yeah, most of this I'm just excited to like use up and learn how to do acrylic and oil in. And then the plan anyway, once I actually know what I'm doing, that I will buy better ones. Put that back. Ugh. Pardon my grunting. I'm out of shape. Yeah, so here's just more convention stuff. This is kind of what I've got left from last year's convention season prints. It's not, obviously my filing system is highly advanced, so yeah. But, you know, my little sketch pad, like labels and little mini prints and stuff. Some extra drift comics that I still have. Those are actually the first run. I'll show these off if anyone is interested. Let me know. I have just a few left. I'm probably gonna sell these off and do a better run or another run with a longer one. This is just kind of the preview. But that was kind of a cool project I did last year. Yeah, convention stuff. There's some like really old low fire white clay back here. Some soapstone that my mom gave me that I need to figure out what to do with. I don't have access to a kiln right now, and there's some bags. That's obviously where they go. Yeah, this is like 50 pounds of expensive clay that I just didn't want to throw away after college. Some plaster, patching sculpts. The soapstone is dying. So yeah, my goal is to hopefully one day have access to a kiln again, and then I can actually do some ceramic sculptures or even some pottery, who knows. So yeah, that's basically that. My very minimal decorations here. This is actually a Reenpoortvliet painting. I got this at the Reenpoortvliet Museum well, just outside of Rotterdam in the Netherlands. So that was cool, great trip. Old painting I did while camping of my friends hanging out in double hammocks. Another painting, my trash can. This one was a plein air painting I did on a hike with some artists out here a couple years ago. My lovely window that took so long to clean. It was like packed with dirt in the corners and stuff. I don't think anyone had actually been in this room in years until I moved in, but it's got this cool little like latch thing. I hope I don't break it. I'm always worried this thing's gonna break. But yeah, so that's my ventilation. It's kind of nice, honestly. When I found this place, I was kind of like, hey, does anyone have a place with some natural light and ventilation and tile floors? I know it's a lot to ask, but if you do, I've got $100 for you. Oh, now I can't close it. I'll do that later. But yeah, tile floors, natural light. I mean, it also has fluorescent lighting, which is not my favorite, but you know, I can turn those off. So yeah, there's that. A little easel. It's not at all fancy, but it'll do for now. Another Reenpoortvliet painting to inspire me. I just love the way he does textures. I'm kind of a huge fangirl of this guy. If you've never seen him, I'll put a link to some of his work in the video description, but he does a lot of naturalist, like painterly naturalist paintings, or he did. He's dead now, sadly. Yeah, just like a piece I found and I haven't put away yet. I was working on a project in here and I needed access to ribbons, so I have this little crafty, this is actually like a divider from my file drawer we'll look at in a minute that I pulled out because I didn't have any dowels. That's one of my sculpts, Godfrey the Dragon. Some of you guys have seen that on stream. I streamed that, I think that was like a year ago. You know, just some jars that I keep my, I don't know, heavy use items in. Got paintbrushes. These are like my crappy large paintbrushes that are just for like gessoing and, you know, not, I don't really care if they get damaged kind of thing. My microns. These are all sculptures that need to be either fixed or finished. Yeah, or they're just like this one. I just need to like get rid of it probably. I did that one when I was teaching. Little bobblehead rhino. But yeah, there's Little Blue. Little Blue got some red stuff on her from the move. I think from the bag I packed her in, unfortunately, so I gotta figure out how to fix that. Might just paint over it and then like re-lacquer it, but yeah, so there's that stuff. My lovely desk that's like, it was just here in this room. They were gonna throw it away and I was like, no, it's big, I can use it. But I'm definitely gonna have to refinish it. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's like pieces that flake off, like the varnish is coming off or something. So yeah, that's all right. It's a nice big work desk. It also took a lot of cleaning. My little fan tucked away over here for ventilation. I've already used that once when I was doing my sculpture commission. Let's start over here. My fancy chair that is a pillow from my living room and a chair that they had in this building that they didn't want. I need to probably get something better for that too. Just, you know, general tool drawer over here. All that. I'm not gonna go into like tons of detail. Some snacks, highly important snacks. Tape, glue, that kind of thing. And then this is like sketchbooks. Most of them are unused. The ones on this side are the ones that are in progress. Most of this stuff is just planning stuff in that book. These I've had for like years. Some of these sketches are super old. This is like a sketchbook I found. Actually, both of them that I found when I moved up here. I was like, oh, I need to finish them, and I still haven't. More of those dividers hiding down there. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, those are my sketchbooks. I gotta get through them before I buy more, because I have a sketchbook problem. And over here, on this side of this desk was also a pain to clean when I moved in. But yeah, this is like miscellaneous business cards. I've got industry contacts here, like people I've met at conventions and have given me tips, or, you know, just, I don't know, one of them's like a airbrush repair guy who's local and that kind of thing. These are just cards I think are beautiful. I want to redesign my business cards, and these are some that I was like, I can't throw these away. They're too amazing. Some cat print samples, you know, paper samples from printing companies and whatnot, to look at. A bunch of like nature pressed flowers and things that I'm using for another project. And what's in here? I just, like I said, just moved in, so some of these things I still don't know exactly what's in here. Yeah, crafty things, ribbons. Got some like ornaments that I made years ago that I don't know what I'm gonna do with. Paint towels, paint sticks for mixing paint. And pencils, erasers, lead. Woo! Important things. Oh, finished sketchbooks. Not very many yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do when this fills up with sketchbooks, but for now that's where I'm putting them. A lot of this is in flux and will probably change. And then over here we have one of my favorite things ever, all my art books. I'm such an art book collector. I just hoard them. If I had more money, I would buy all of them, but this is from the library. It's a fashion book. I'm trying to teach myself how to draw clothing and people and just generally be better. We'll see how that goes. Great book, by the way, if anybody's looking to brush up on their fashion. It's like history of fashion, so you can draw, you know, pieces from any era. It's really helpful. This is that Reen Portfleet book that I was telling you guys about, or the artist I was telling you about rather. This is a book that I got when I was 12. And it's kind of honestly like what made me want to be, I don't know, like an illustrator or to do art in general. And it's like amazing. This guy, I'm just gonna show you real quick, but seriously, if you need some inspiration and just wanna see really cool art, maybe this is not in your like realm of interest for the kind of art that you enjoy, but I just love all the sketches that he put in here, and like, I don't know, I just love the way this guy paints. It's naturalistic, but it's also it's almost got like a fantasy feel to it in some ways. Like the lighting is really cool, and I don't know, he talks about all kinds of stuff in here. Great book if you ever have a chance to come across it or flip through it. Love it, love it. I have a few more of his pieces in here. I'm not going to go through all my favorite books because otherwise this would be a super long video, but here's just some of the ones that I have here. I have to be pretty selective because I don't have a lot of space yet, but hopefully I'll get some more bookends to put on top, and then I can add a few more to my collection. But you know, I've got like, these are amazing. Color and Light by James Gurney is like a must. Pride of Baghdad is a graphic novel that kind of inspired Drift for me a long time ago. Really cool. Cthulhu Odyssey, Terrell Whitlatch, pretty much anything Terrell Whitlatch does. If you're into creature design and you haven't heard of Terrell Whitlatch, you need to brush up because she's amazing. She did a lot of the creature design for Star Wars, and just is in general an awesome creature designer. Definitely a must-have. So yeah, and then these are like some reference books about like, you know, how to draw cards, how to draw firearms, because I'm not good at either of those things. Like different animals. I've got art books from various movies, Maureen Portfleet books, anatomy books. So yeah, I'm not, like I said, maybe I'll do a separate video if anyone's interested to know about my favorite art books and why, but these are just kind of the ones I have. This is a great color reference for color palettes. Moving right along, here's my giant green window. I would open it, but the other room has some stuff stored in it right now. It's like kind of weird. So right now the blinds are closed, but it's kind of nice because like when I'm here at night, it gets a little creepy, and so I can close it and this window's not open all the time. It's nice to have both of these. Feels a little more open, you know. Move that, here's my paper cutter. Handy dandy. One day I would like to have like a printer and a scanner here. And ideally one day I'll have my digital studio here as well. But yeah, for the time being, I don't actually have internet access in this room. So hopefully one day I'll get to use all of these millions, I don't know if you noticed, but this whole room is just lined with outlets and they all work, like I've tested them. But there's so many. I think they used to rent this to like some scientists or something, and they had tons of equipment plugged in up here. So that's fun, but I can't use any of them except to charge my phone because I don't have my studio, my digital stuff here. One day, one day. All right, and then last but not least, we've got my little chest of drawers thing. It's kind of like my budget version of a flat file. One day I would love to replace this with an actual flat file, which if you don't know, it's the kind that are just like little short drawers where you can just file away large pieces of paper, which would be an amazing way to store my portfolio and all the large things that I've got. But for now, I just have this. Not too much in it right now. Honestly, a lot of my like larger pieces are all at my parents' house in Texas still. So maybe one day I'll bring them up here. But this actually would not be big enough to fit them at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, these are just like watercolor paper scraps and just various art paper, whatever that means. There's some canvas boards under there. Some of these little tiny art card things I keep planning on making and I haven't. It's like sample stuff from when I was a teacher, honestly. There's a lot of that stuff that still lingers. And on here we've got like random work of mine. This is just scrap stuff. A lot of these things I don't really want to show them because they're not good. It's just like scrap, either like leftover prints or like test prints or like doodles that I do. Like there's a hippo drawing, hippo dragon thing right there. So like I'll have these out when I go to conventions in like a little, you know, buy one for $5 kind of a deal. And it's just kind of a way to use up like old drawings that I don't really want to keep, but I don't hate, you know. There's some old proofs. I'm really not sure what I'm gonna do with those. Here's my hoarding tendencies on display. I always feel like there's a use for everything, but these all say proof on them. So there probably isn't a use for these, but I'm gonna hold on to them for a minute just because you know, it's a big drawer. Got a lot of stuff in here right now. And then scrap paper, so like, you know, just things to test on. Got some chipboard and some extra cardboard back here. And then under here is just kind of like artwork done by friends of mine. Or yeah, basically just like artists, like other artists who've done sketches while we're hanging out or at conventions. You know, sometimes you get like freebies. So that's what's in there. And yeah, I forget the name of the artist who did that. This is a piece I did in college. It was like the last layer of a lino print. I've always kind of liked it. All the stuff that like the final prints are all at home, but, and then this is an artist, I have the name on the back, but it's like taped to the wall. It's Jorge something. But anyway, he was the featured artist at Dink last year, and I really liked, they just like gave these away, so I grabbed one. That is an old John Foster painting from a no longer in operation online art school, but I just really love this painting and it's quite inspiring, so I keep it up. And yeah, that's basically it. I know it's not a lot, but it's enough for me, and like I said, probably gonna change sometime soon as I add things to it, or, you know, make pieces that I want to hang up. The owners of the building said they were fine with me putting holes in the wall, which is great. So maybe next time this will look totally different and there'll be like more shelves and canvases up and all kinds of things. And who knows, maybe I'll have my digital studio in here and everything will be moved around. But yeah, so that's my studio, guys. Woo! Super cool to have this space for sure. Alright guys, that's it for my studio tour. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for coming along. I don't know if you watched all of it, but if you did, thanks. And if you didn't, thanks. I appreciate the click. I'm really excited to get started working in here and making a lot of stuff to share with you out there on the interwebs. So I'll see you there. Bye! If you're interested in checking out more of my stuff, you can go see what I'm doing and see some sketches over on Instagram. I also have an account on Facebook and Twitter. All of those are under KCL Snow, so head that way if you want to check out what I'm doing. I also run a Patreon, so if you'd like to see some behind the scenes things and some extra goodies, head on over to patreon.com/KCLSnow and just see what's going on over there. Thanks again for watching, and a special thank you to my patrons who made this video possible. Later, guys!